everybody. Um, it's just me today, and I am sure Godfather will be back with us next week. So I figured since it's just me, I'm going to continue talking about the biggest conspiracy theory that I love to personally talk about, and that is flat Earth. Yeah, I'm a flirter. I can't help it. I was born that way. So, I've got some videos. Actually, we're just going to kind of take a look at many different videos here on TikTok and talk about them because what better to do with your time than going down all these epic rabbit holes on TikTok? Am I right? We have a super chat goal of $100. So, yeah, we got $1 in there right now. So, keep paying. Keep super chatting. I need money. No, I'm kidding. No, but any money that you do give to the podcast, it goes straight towards the podcast. It doesn't go anywhere else. And it goes like to helping us get out there and helping us to continue giving you content. Stuff like at podcast content. All super chats are greatly appreciated. I know that I had the tip thing up last week, but we don't have room for that on the screen. I'm trying to keep it nice and neat and pretty and nice on y'all's eyes and all that. So I had to take that off because it was in the way. It was gunking up the screen, if you will. So let's go ahead and start. Um, and yeah, no AMAs this week. Nobody sent me in any questions, so make sure and go to sophfuckit.com to send me in your AMAs for next week. Ask us anything. You can ask me, you can ask Godfather anything. You pick whatever you want to ask, and it will be completely anonymous. You don't even have to sign up and make an account and all that stuff. You don't have to put any information in. It just you just go there and ask your question. It's a really cool site. It's hosted by Not Gonna Lie, NGL. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. Let's see what this video says.
Contains the sun, moon and stars, all of which move, not the earth. Above and below are waters. This isn't a conspiracy. If satellites were really in space, why would we need communication towers in the middle of the ocean? A compass only functions properly on a flat surface to differentiate between north, east, south and west. Water always stays level and contained, with the Arctic Circle and Antarctic. That's
a big thing that I try to convey to everybody when they ask me, well, what proof do you have that the earth is flat? Well, water doesn't curve like anywhere on the earth, and water has to be held inside of a container. That's like a universal law, right? So it would make sense to hold it inside of a contained firmament and not just flopping and sloshing out on a spinning ball where it could literally just like what's holding it in on a spinning ball, you know? I don't know, it just makes better sense in my head to view it as a and you know guys, I don't think it's completely flat either. I think that it's like not really like a snow globe, but I think that it's kind of depicted like a snow globe. However, I think that it's like okay, get a circle, cut it in half. I think it's like a half of a circle with a firmament over it. I don't know. I don't think it's curved that much, but I think there is some curvature because you do have like higher elevations than others. So, like, I think the North Pole is hitting at the North Pole is higher than the South Pole. So it could be curved just a little bit. I don't know though.
Antarctica acting as barriers that hold the oceans in. The solid glass dome or firmament keeps the air inside, creating a sealed, airtight environment. The Earth doesn't spin at millions of miles per hour like a ball. The sounds of thunder booms are produced when solid objects shift. Even world leaders know this truth, as shown by the flat Earth map on the UN.
And I know that if you ever go down this rabbit hole, people are going to say, "Oh, well that's just they took the ball and they've laid it out flat. Like it's still a ball concept." But is it though? I know that's not really a flat earth map because I mean, it shows the continents in the middle and going around like, in a clockwise orientation. So, I get that. And it could definitely not be, but it does make you wonder, why do they use that specific logo?
Logo. Once again, it's the sun, moon, and stars that rotate from east to west, not the Earth. The people who taught you that the Earth is a globe are fully aware of and believe in the flat, enclosed system we all live in and that no one can leave. We're told that we're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, orbiting the sun in the heliocentric model at 66,600 miles per hour.
If we were spinning that fast around the sun that fast, come on, guys. Why do the stars, why are the, okay, think about it. Why are the stars in the exact location every single night? Like, I know that they move a little bit, but you wouldn't be able to, like, if it was really spinning that fast and around the sun, you wouldn't be able to keep up with the other planets out there. Planets.
On top of that, we're supposedly chasing the sun through space at nearly 500,000 miles per hour. According to this model, we're spiraling through an infinite universe, never in the same place twice. Now consider the Georgia Guidestones, which had a small hole drilled through one of the central stones. If you looked through that hole, you would always see Polaris, the North Star. But how could we be moving in so many directions, traveling vast distances, and yet that star remains perfectly aligned in the hole?
Exactly.
It should shift out of sight constantly, yet it stayed in place for 40 years until one day someone blew up the monument. They say Earth spins eastward at 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. So here's a question. How does a plane flying eastward at just 800 kilometers per hour reach its destination? Shouldn't the ground be moving too fast for the plane to catch up? And what about landing? Imagine trying to land a plane safely on a runway that's supposedly zipping along at 1,600 kilometers per hour. Sounds risky, doesn't it? The official explanation is that Earth's atmosphere is stuck to the planet, held by gravity despite the vacuum of space above it. But think about this. If Earth were a spinning ball, pilots would constantly need to adjust for the curve. At 800 kilometers per hour, a plane would have to lower its nose by around 850 meters per minute to stay on course with Earth's curvature. Otherwise, it would be flying higher and higher, reaching about 50,000 meters in just an hour.
I never really like thought about that, but that's completely true. Like the airplane, like if you're up in an airplane and it's going, yeah, you wouldn't, the ground would be moving so fast that you wouldn't know where to land. That's true. And don't tell me about the, oh, it's the atmosphere. Oh, blah 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 blah. Well, guess what? The atmosphere is the same thing as the firmament.
Yet pilots don't make these constant adjustments. Once they reach cruising altitude, they
Oh, and pilots always fly with the flat Earth map. It's called the Gleason map. They always fly with Gleason flat Earth map. Now, why is that? Makes you think, you know?
level off and maintain a steady course until it's time to descend. No constant corrections for Earth's curve, just a straight level flight path. Doesn't that raise questions?
Mm-hmm.
If Earth were really spinning and curving, wouldn't we see constant course corrections? But we don't. It's a compelling clue that maybe things aren't what we've been taught. What do you think? If you're curious to dive deeper into these ideas, make sure to check out more videos on this page.
All right, so that's video number 1. Let's see what else we have. That was actually a good video. I liked that. Mm-hmm. Um. Oh, duh.
The Bible makes clear that we live on a flat, non-rotating Earth and that we live in a realm, not space. And I'm gonna prove it to you. If you don't already use Haven, it's an awesome studying resource. It can pull up verses on specific topics. Everyone I've put onto this loves it. Isaiah 40:22, it is he who sits above the circle of the earth, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. And a lot of
So yeah, in the Bible, in the Book of Enoch, which is part of the Dead Sea Scrolls, God, it says somewhere like basically God sits with his feet on top of the earth. So the earth is his foot rest. And it makes sense because Polaris, you see the beautiful northern lights, which we'll get into what I think maybe causes the northern lights. It's that's a deep rabbit hole. Let's see if we get into that one today.
people are going to say, oh, that's proof of the globe. No, it's not. The Hebrew word in this verse can be translated as circle or vault, indicating a rounded or arched shape. This suggests a reference to the dome or the expanse of the heavens. In Isaiah 22, he uses a totally different word for ball. He will surely wind you up tightly like a ball to be thrown into a wide land. Two different words used, and this is the only time that you see this word in the entire Bible. Proverbs 8:27, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep. Job 26:10, he has inscribed a circle on the face of the waters at the boundary of light and darkness. Verses in Genesis alone that have the phrase, face of all the earth. What does that make you think of? A watch. The face of a watch. Job 22:14, thick clouds enwrap him so that he does not see, and he walks on the circle of the sky. Matthew 4:8, again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. Ezekiel 10:1, then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them, as it were, a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. Revelation 7:1, after this I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth, holding back the four winds of the earth. Job 22:14, thick clouds enwrap him so that he does not see, and he walks on the circle of the sky. Remember, this is the same word that you can also translate to vault or arch. Here's just 3 verses that say, the world shall be stable, it shall not be moved. A lot of people love to say, oh, the Bible never said that the earth is flat, because it's not needed. When you read it and compare the verses, it's obvious. We 100% live in God's realm.
Mm-hmm.
I just proved the earth is flat. Look at that cargo ship popping up on the horizon.
Yes, 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 guys. This one. If there's any proof, flat earth proof out there that I have tried to tell other people that are complete globies and do not believe that the earth is flat, I'm like, okay, well, what about boats? And they're always like, boats, we can't see the bottom. Can we not now? Check this out.
Line. You couldn't see it from the naked eye. They always say you can't see over the horizon because that's where the ocean or the earth dips down. But why do I see that cargo ship like it's just floating? But look how it disappears. From the naked eye, you can't see it, but now you can. So let's put all that globe stuff to bed. I just proved the earth is flat.
Yeah, just zoom in.
When you look at the solar system, there's 9 planets, right? According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, the alleged rapist. They're all spinning in the same direction. You know the odds of that? 2 to the 9th power. 1 in 512. That's very rare. And by the way, do not, during this conversation, do not say it was God's will. Because if you use God, you have to read the Bible. And the Bible does not depict the earth as a spinning ball in a sea of nothing at all. So you can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have a firmament, four corners. God sits up and looks at us like grasshoppers. You can't have that and a spinning ball and nothing. Okay, listen. Just please listen, because it's impossible. All right, next up on the solar system model, it's on a flat plane. Not just is the solar system a flat plane, the entire Milky Way galaxy is a flat plane. Want to talk about flat Earth? Oh, flat earthers, flat earthers. You're saying that after a big bang, even with the law of thermodynamics called entropy, which we'll get to in a second, somehow our galaxy ended up being a perfectly flat plane where all the planets spin in the same direction. The odds of that are less than winning the mega lotto every single day for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that. Now look at the moon. The moon is a perfect circle.
Mm-hmm.
The odds that happened after Big Bang and just chaos of atoms and particles and dust and rocks colliding is zero.
Yep.
The odds are literally zero. There's no force. There's no wind. There's no erosion. There's no water. There's no force acting upon that moon that would make it a perfect sphere. Next up, why are the craters all perfect spheres? The way asteroids hit, side angle, we've never witnessed an asteroid, okay? The odds that the spin of the moon is exactly the same speed as it rotates around the Earth, again, are zero. If it was 1/4 of 1 mile per hour different, it would slowly turn.
Mm-hmm.
The fact it doesn't, and there is zero physics explanations with the model of gravity as we know it to explain why the moon, why its axis rotation is exactly matching it rotate around us so that we only see one side. Light being shined upon a sphere does not make the luminescence the same all the way across. You can do a test with a tennis ball and a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. It can't happen. It only happens on two-dimensional objects. Seeing as you've only seen one side of the moon because of its miraculous rotation and its perfect circle, and the fact that the luminescence is the same across the whole thing, implies, I'm not stating this, it implies it's a two-dimensional object.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than it's a spinning sphere out of the chaos of the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The size and weight of the moon, according to science, it is impossible for it to be rotating around our Earth. The way the moon was created, according to mainstream science, is that an object the size of Mars hit our Earth and created the moon. That's nonsense. We would have rings like Saturn. Where's all the dust? Where's all the debris? Where's everything? That all just disappeared? That makes no sense at all. Next up, the sun is 400 times bigger and miraculously 400 times farther away than the moon. And like two machine-cut quarters, they line up perfectly to make an eclipse.
Yep.
The odds of that are 1 in trillions times 1 in trillions times 1 in
It's
trillions.
just not
It's
possible.
That the perfect circles in this world, which can't happen on the moon given the existing model,
It's
line up
impossible
perfectly
odds.
with something 400 times larger from a third factor, which is your fixed position on an Earth that they claim is spinning 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, the shadow of the eclipse is 70 miles wide. There is no way to make a shadow smaller than the object. Of course, there are people that say umbra because, like goats, they've been trained to say that, but they cannot recreate an umbra on Earth. They only believe it because they've been indoctrinated to believe it since the time of their birth by people who want to remove their connection to God. Okay, next up, evolution. So we have something called the Big Bang, which is the ultimate chaotic event. What banged? Who banged it? Why did it bang? How did everything come from a fixed point? Don't even try and tackle that because it makes zero sense. But here's something that you can easily think of, and it disproves everything about mainstream science. The law of entropy is that matter and energy naturally go from order to chaos. If you break a glass, even after 1 billion years, the broken shards will not reform into the glass because objects have a tendency towards entropy, towards dissolving, towards breaking apart. Whether it's empires or broken glass, the longer you wait,
I can agree with
broken
that.
shards become sand. They get ground down, they will never go the other direction. So how do we have a human eyeball from a Big Bang? The Big Bang happens and it creates a never-ending waterfall, cascade, domino effect of atoms smashing against each other in an empty darkness for eternity. So given the law of entropy that things go from order to chaos, how on Earth do we have the structure of a human eyeball in which we can see light and then recreate the light in our minds as images that represent our physical reality?
And like he said, out of the Big Bang, it caused us to have these perfect circular planets, perfect circular moons. Like, he makes a point. He makes a point.
Contradicts to a point of laughable mockery. Okay, now understand that if anyone says, well, sexual selection, Big Bang, You know, over long periods of time, I used to believe this stuff too. I believed all of it. I loved astronomy. I minored in evolution in college. I loved thinking about how the environment would interact with a human being, increase their odds of procreation or decrease their odds of procreation, and certain genes would pass. Nonsense. You're telling me that that force that created the human eyeball, which is unbelievably complicated, that through a long process of light hitting cells and then becoming rods and cones, if that's from sexual selection, why does our skin burn in the sun? Why do I need an umbrella right now so that my skin doesn't become red and cancerous? Well, Big Bear, it's because you're from the north. Why don't I have hair on my body? Why would I die outside in 30-degree weather without a structure around me? If my people came from Northern Europe, which they did for so long, how come I didn't evolve to not die in the snow?
1 second, guys. Aha. Godfather, I think, is here. Let me just get him on in here. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Oh, there he is. There you are. Cannot hear you. Okay. Alright, so while he's doing that, we're just going to take a look at the rest of this video. So take your time there, Godfather. Let me move this. Let's see, where does this need to go? Let's pop it up. Not right there. Nope, not right there. It needs to go in the very... Yay, that works. Alright, so let's finish this.
And then die in the sun. If sexual selection actually had an impact on us, like they say it did, if we can evolve to have the complexity of a human eyeball out of a big bang, even though that goes against entropy, why on earth have we evolved to not have skin that's resistant to the one constant in our life at all times, which is the sun and then the winter? It doesn't make any sense, right? So what is the point of all of this? Is this supposed to give you despair and fear? No, it's removing it. We were created. That glass that was broken was a glass because someone made it. So someone made us to have eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to taste, hands to touch, a woman to love, a child to hold, right? That is love. And so what's the purpose of life? Serving that which gave us all of it. God. And they want you to think that we are on a spinning circle ball in an infinite black, and every atom that just smashes together randomly eventually became your parents, who randomly fucked and are now silently watching NCIS in some long, weird, passive-aggressive game, and you're just here to randomly smash your genitals against someone. No way, guys. That's despair. That's the world where you need medication to get out of bed. That's the world where you can be easily tricked because you have nothing to be
That's
grateful
true,
for,
though.
nothing to live for. When you know that your eyes of your children were created